guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is a how-to video on powder foundation. I really like powder foundation as an option if you guys are on the go, if you don't have a lot of time to get ready, or you're a no fuss type of girl but still want coverage, you still want your skin to look even and perfected. A powder foundation is a great choice. I also love it because it gives you more versatility. You can control the coverage a lot more. So if you want to learn how I do my routine and still achieve a flawless full coverage, keep on watching. But first, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. You guys, it helps so much. And check out my other social media handles. I share makeup tutorials, fashion tutorials, lifestyle tips, and everything in between. But yeah, you guys, keep on watching. You guys, so as mentioned in the intro, this is all about how applying powder foundation. The one tip I will recommend, which is the same for whatever formula you're using for your foundation, is you want to prep your skin. I did a little exfoliation. I made sure that my skin is hydrated. It is very important no matter what, like I said, but when you're using powder, if your skin is dry or patchy, the powder, it's going to accentuate that. So you do want to take even extra measurement in making sure that your skin is nicely prepped. So today I am going to be using the new Urban Decay All Nighter Face Primer. Who's a fan of the Urban Decay All Nighter? I'm such a big fan. I've always been. It's a must-have in my kit, and it was a must-have on my professional kit as well. So as I mentioned, this is the second time that I am trying this primer, and my first impression of it is how light and airy it immediately feels. More hydrated and good. Like my skin feels so good. And I am going to give you guys a little close-up here on my pores. I do find that it does a really good job at minimizing, especially I have a lot of pores that show throughout here and in the middle in between my brows. Whenever you are applying a powder foundation, you want to make sure that you do all your liquids first and then before you start with your powder. So I'm going to start with the concealer. This was probably my most used concealer of 2019, like consistently using this from the first day that I tried it. What I like to do is make sure that I go over like all of the areas that even when I'm wearing foundation tends to show up. So I want to make sure that I do this. If I have a little breakout, this is the time to kind of take care of that situation. This is a pretty high coverage concealer that can be diffused if you use a sponge. But if you use a brush or your fingers, you get like the full coverage effect from it. So I am going to use a brush. Here's the tip, you guys. If you want the most coverage from your concealer, let it dry for a few seconds, settle into the skin. Your skin will start to warm it up. And apart from giving you more coverage, it will also be a lot easier to blend out without, again, losing a lot of the coverage. And you also need to do a lot less blending that way. This concealer, and I'm just going to kind of like go everywhere, you guys. Okay, so once you do your concealer, you have the option of setting it with a separate powder. You can go with a translucent powder and just set right underneath the eyes, or you can just go straight to whatever powder foundation you are going to be using. I am going to actually use the All Nighter Long Wear Mattifying Weightless powder, and it is a setting powder, so you can use this all over your face. I'm going to use this powder to set underneath my eyes. I am going to take my Laura Mercier brush and I'm going to swirl it and kind of go over just over here. I have used this on another video. I am going to say that I did notice a big difference. I used this on only certain areas at first, and I did notice a big difference. And just like the description says, it does take away the extra shine, but it doesn't completely mattify the skin. It still looks pretty luminous and nice. I'm gonna take this and kind of just hit the areas that tend to move the most for me. And again, this is an extra step that it's totally not necessary, but I am trying out these new products from Urban Decay. So I'm just going to implement them in this routine. But again, you can use any powder that you have or go over your powder foundation with that. I am going to be using the Urban Decay Naked powder. Now, it did break on me. This is not the first time I use it. Actually, the first time that I used it, it broke on me. I was maybe a little too harsh with the powder. I will admit I kind of digged into it, and there must have been a bubble there somewhere because of the way that it cracked. You can kind of see, but I was so impressed with it, and I'm still dealing with the mess that it's causing because it's that good. Now I will be replacing it at some point, but for now I will continue to use it. And just to give you a little bit of information, because it is a new product for Urban Decay, this is a Stay Naked Fix Powder Foundation. And this is everything you love about Stay Naked, now in a powder. It comes in 24 shades of vegan long wear foundation. Now you can build this up to a medium coverage. So the foundation comes with a charcoal infused sponge that detoxifies and mattifies your complexion, so you can apply it on the go and touch up anywhere. So this is the shade. It's like a charcoal infused situation. It is very thin to do. You can see it's already dirty. I've used it before. So I am going to use these two fingers here and kind of like wrap it around my finger. I find that it just gives me a little bit more control. And what I want to do is focus on the areas that I want more coverage on. So I'm going to start going over the areas I apply the concealer, and I am applying it in a press and kind of, how would you describe this? Like rolling it on the skin? Yes, rolling it is a great description of what I'm doing. So I'm taking it and just rolling. I will say it's probably the best powder foundation formula I've ever used. It looks amazing on the skin. The finish is very beautiful. It's not completely matte. It does have a little bit of skin-like luminosity, but nothing too crazy. The coverage, I mean, it says up to a medium, but if you kind of go over some areas a little bit and concentrate on it, you can build it up to a full coverage. So I'm just going to keep doing my little roll and go technique all over the face. To continue with Urban Decay. This is their new Urban Decay Stay Naked Threesome palette, and this is the shade Rise. I've been using it for a while now. I have been really enjoying it. Very pigmented, I will say. Super pigmented, so you want to be light-handed or else you'll be blending for a while. So I'm going to take this big MAC 153 brush and kind of just warm up my complexion. So now every step that you do is pretty much however you would finish off your foundation. And again, the only thing that you want to avoid is incorporating any liquid products that is going to mess up with your powder foundation. So you want to just stick to powders from this moment on. And the only exception is your setting spray, which is designed to help powders look even more flawless anyway, so you don't want to skip that step. Also new from Urban Decay is their all-nighter ultra matte long-lasting makeup setting spray. And the difference between this one and the original one is that this mattifies your skin, so it's excellent option if you have oily skin, or yeah, if you have oily skin, or even if you just wanna, you have a lot of dewy makeup in your collection, you don't want to invest in a matte foundation, this would be a great option for those days too, when you just want an all matte look. So you guys, this is how my skin looks. One thing I will say, I do like to use it with a brush as well, and this is a Morphe E56 brush. It's actually a great brush if you like to buff in your powder foundation, which whenever I'm feeling extra confident or want only a little bit of coverage, I do that. Today I showed you more of a more coverage, which is why the stippling kind of does that. But it's great to have options, and with powder foundation you definitely do. Another option is taking a even bigger brush like this, and this is going to give you an even more sheer, less coverage. This is perfect also if you already have foundation but you want to set it while also giving it a little bit more coverage. So you take your powder foundation and you just kind of put this all over your face to set it, to set your liquid foundation. So those are my tips. I'm gonna finish the rest of my face and I will be back. Hey guys, so this is the finished look. I did record the eyes routine for Instagram, so again, make sure to follow. This is the handle if you want to see how I did this eye look and the products I used. But as far as the powder foundation, you guys, this is what I want you to notice, is that you can see I have a highlighter, I have a blush, I have the bronzer that I put. That's one thing that you want to make sure. Some formulas, some products kind of can mash everything together, nothing really blends. But not only with the technique, but I believe with the formula. And this is why I really love, I mean, this is the first foundation, powder foundation that I use that I would probably abandon a few of the liquid and use this one instead. It's that good. I really have no complaints with this except that it broke. But again, I was being a little harsh, so that's more on me. But I definitely want to use this. And one thing that I want to try with the formula is doing everything with it. Like buying a darker color to do my contouring, a lighter color to go underneath the eyes. Because that is one thing I would like to see, the eyes a little bit more brighter. But with as far as the formula of the Stay Naked, the fixed foundation, powder foundation, I completely recommend that if you guys are on the market for a powder foundation, this would be a great option. But I also want to note that the Urban Decay All Nighter Face Primer is an excellent choice as well to go underneath the powder. I wasn't really sure how it would look because I usually tend to go for a even richer and more hydrating primer whenever I do powder for foundations, but this was excellent. It feels, it's so hydrating but leaves the skin at a very natural state. Like it doesn't add that much dewiness to it, but it also doesn't mattify it. I hope I'm describing that better. It's like that perfect base. I also love that it does an excellent job at blurring out all my pores around here and around here. I definitely can tell a difference. So I definitely, how many times am I gonna say definitely? I would totally check this primer out. And like I mentioned before, this is the second time I used it. The first time I used it with the liquid formula, I went out, I was out and about all day and my makeup did not move. That being said, I did use the Stay Naked foundation, which I've used it even without a primer and it's amazing. So I do want to play with some other foundations, maybe not foundations that are not as long wearing as the Urban Decay. So stay tuned for a review of this baby on my blog. Another product that I use that I want to point out is the All Nighter Waterproof Setting Powder. I did use this underneath the eyes. This powder is a really nice addition to my collection. I look forward to using this a lot because like I said, I have combination skin. I will be throwing this baby in my bag. I tend to get a little bit oily around my T-zone throughout the day, so I'm very happy to have this. Hey guys, I hope that you found this tutorial helpful. If you guys have any questions or any other looks that you would like to see on my channel, please leave them in the comment section, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.